ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا
Hello and good evening. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday, April 30. I'm Suleiman Talash. Deputy Prime Minister for Economic Affairs Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar Khan inaugurated a major power supply project from Kajaki Dam to Dehrawood district in Uruzgan province. He emphasized that such a clean energy projects enhance Afghanistan's resilience to climate change and help maintain a clean global climate. He urged the United Nations and international organizations to support Afghanistan in clean energy production and resume halted projects. This initiative, funded by the Afghanistan Electricity Company for 201 million Afghans, will supply electricity to approximately 4,500 families upon its completion. The Minister of Refugees and Repatriation, in a meeting with the head of UNAMA, stated that the United Nations organization should participate in the construction of settlements for Afghan refugees. In a meeting with the head of UNAMA, Rosa Otanbayeva, Maulavi Abdul Kabir emphasized the need to increase assistance to Afghan refugees and added that the distribution of permanent settlements is progressing well and that so far 58 townships have been considered for refugees. Let's take a look to the rest of the story.
The Minister of Refugees and Repatriation, Maulavi Abdul Kabir, in a meeting with the head of the UNAMA in Afghanistan, emphasized the need to increase the level of assistance to refugees and said that the United Nations organizations should participate in the construction of settlements for returning Afghans.
At the end of the meeting, the Minister clarified that the Islamic Emirate is engaging in talks with foreign delegations and is ready to interact with all parties and in the light of Sharia.
The UNAMA head praised the recent efforts of the Islamic Emirate and relevant institutions regarding refugees and internally displaced individuals and assured of continued assistance to the refugees, adding that more financial resources will be attracted for this sector.
The
role of the United Nations in funding housing infrastructure and pressuring donor countries to increase humanitarian budgets is unavoidable.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Economy, which is also responsible for the Committee for the Attraction of Aid to Refugees, said that the Minister of Economy, Qaridin Mohammad Hanif, in separate meetings with the officials of the Qatar Aid Organization and the Kabul Goldsmith and Money Exchangers Association in Kabul, said that the relevant institutions should fulfill their responsibilities regarding the returning Afghan refugees.
In this meeting, the head of the Qatar Charity Foundation promised that, in coordination with the relevant committee, they would work to fulfill the needs of the returning refugees, provide health services, and collaborate in the construction of permanent housing, mosques, and water supply networks.
According to the information of the Minister of Refugees and Repatriation Affairs, since April 1, 2025, Afghan refugees have returned to the country from Pakistan, and the Islamic Emirate is planning 58 towns for returning Afghans in 31 provinces of the country, of which 22 towns are active and the returned citizens are living in them.
During his visit to Balkh province, the Chinese ambassador to Kabul met with Muhammad Yusuf Wafa, the governor of the province, and discussed increasing bilateral political, economic, and trade relations and cooperation. In this meeting, the Chinese ambassador said that his country is committed to implementing other infrastructure projects in Afghanistan, in addition to solar power and check dams. Balkh governor urged the Chinese ambassador to seize the opportunity to invest in Afghanistan and cooperate with Afghanistan in the areas of transit and trade. The Russian Deputy Prime Minister, during a visit to an exhibition in Uzbekistan, said that with the implementation of the Afghan Trans project, the volume of Russian commercial goods transported through this railway route will reach between 8 and 15 million tons annually. Economic experts believe that the implementation of the Afghan Trans project can bring about major changes in the country's economic infrastructure and increase the scope for job creation in the country. Let's see more in this report.
The Russian Deputy Prime Minister said during a visit to an exhibition in Uzbekistan that with the implementation of Afghan Trust project, the volume of Russian commercial goods transported through the railway route will reach about 8 to 50 million tons annually.
Most of the commercial goods that will transit through this route will include fertilizers, oil and gas, ferrous metals, coal, and etc.
The spokesman for the Ministry of Public Works said earlier, any country that takes steps to implement the Afghan Trust project is welcomed by the Islamic Emirate.
The countries that take steps for the implementation of the mentioned project are warmly appreciated by the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan's Ministry of Public Works.
Some economists say the implementation of the Afghan Trust project could lead to major changes in infrastructure and economic projects and create job opportunities in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan can benefit greatly from this project's transit. Upon its completion, Afghanistan can witness changes and transformations in the economic sector, especially in economic infrastructure and the creation of job opportunities. We essentially have a very interesting region that is backed by Russia. In fact, this works contrary to the TOPI project. While TOPI lacks strong guarantees, Afghan Trans benefit from a very strong guarantee provided by Russia.
The Afghan Trans project is one of the most important regional projects to facilitate transportation and develop international trade in Central and South Asia, which reaches Pakistan through Afghanistan and Uzbekistan through the Karachi port. The goal of the project is to facilitate transportation, develop international trade, and strengthen economic cooperation between the countries in the region.
The Minister of Rural Rehabilitation and Development, Mullah Muhammad Yunus Akhundzada, launched 116 development projects worth about 203 million Afghanis in Jagatu district of Maidan Wardak province. The Ministry of Rural Rehabilitation and Development says that these projects include the construction of rural roads, bridges, culverts, retaining walls, and canals. Maulavi Matiul Haq Khalis, the Director General of the National Environmental Protection Agency, met with Ali Al-Qashati, the Ambassador of Qatar in Kabul, to discuss climate change and the state of the environment with him. During the meeting, Mr. Khalis asked Qatar to assist Afghanistan in environmental protection, capacity building, and the participation of the Afghan delegation in international meetings. On the other hand, the Qatari ambassador in Kabul assured all kinds of cooperation with Afghanistan. Mullah Abdul Majid Akhun, the Minister of Martyrs and Disabled Affairs, met with Mufti Muhammad Idris Anwari, the Governor of Parwan Province. The Ministry of Martyrs and Disabled Affairs said that various issues related to the heirs of martyrs and disabled people and ways to provide better services to them were discussed in this meeting. The Counter-Narcotics Department of the Ministry of Interior's Affairs Deputy Directorate for Counter-Narcotics in Helmand Province has collected 231 drug addicts from different areas of the province and referred them to health centers for treatment. That's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.
ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد